Hi, welcome to my cooking video here. Well, my first time doing this. This is a voiceover because the audio was fucking shit, like it was very shit. So I decided to do it with voiceover. So sorry about that. So today, in my first cooking video will be a borscht. Why? Because borscht is something very different from what we have here in Brazil, and I wanted to try again. I did a borscht one time. I tried one time, but that my borscht was not so good, and then I decided to try again. I'm not following a recipe here. Like the other time, I did not follow a recipe. Here, I also not following a recipe. So I be doing this with Brazilian ingredients and with a Brazilian kind of style, or more like my style. So let's go for it. So here we have our beets, onion, lime, carrot. Our meat is there, and we have the broth. I don't have here right now like a liquid broth, and I didn't want to do a broth, to be honest. So I decided to use this instant broth. It's not doesn't taste so good, but it's a broth. It's a meat broth. So yeah. And garlic. A lot of garlic. Let's start cutting. And right now I'm cutting the beets so it can go to the oven. You want to take these parts here, the edges of it. You don't want to eat that. And we are going to cut it like this, like in small pieces. Because I want more out layer getting golden in the oven. That's the idea. That will help the beets getting more seasoning, and that will help to get a nice golden layer here too, that will help with the flavor. We are going to put all of this in a baking tray with aluminum foil. Remember to put the mirror side and look into the beets. It's important to get used to this. I see sometimes people making this little mistake, and it helps to cook it better. Now we are going to use black pepper. Some people doesn't like it, but it helps to get a nice flavor. In the end, you do you. I would recommend it anyway, maybe a black pepper powder to get used to it, I don't know. Now olive oil. You want to put a nice amount of oil here because you want to fry the anise and the beets, so put a nice little amount. Now we put our anise here. Yeah, anise or anise. It's something that adds a nice smell for a dish, and I like it. And I usually use it when I'm doing some veggies in the oven. So that's the case right here, right? You don't want to put it on top of your food. It's just for the smell. So you are going to break it in small pieces with your hands or whatever and put it on the top of the aluminum, but between the bits, so it can fry a bit and get that nice smell out. Now close this and put it in the oven until it's cooked. I didn't check what was the temp or time, but you can put it for 200 Celsius and check it sometimes until it's cooked. It will take at least 30 minutes to get a nice cross. I usually don't follow measures because it depends on my taste. If you like something more smoky, more tender, everything depends here. I bake food based on my taste, and so should you. And now we are going to peel this carrot, and we are going to cut it in big pieces so you can cook it in vapor. So, by the way, this is my style. I don't think this is how borscht is made, to be honest. When I eat it, was very different, but this is what I think I would like to eat. Now it's time to cut the onion. It doesn't matter how to cut right now because we are going to chop it. Because when these onions goes to the borscht, it will disappear because it's so nicely chopped. That's the idea. I believe that a onion puree or onion powder could work here too, but I usually try to use my ingredients the more fresher possible. So now we are going to chop the garlic. To peel it off easier, you can smash it with your hands or a body of a blade. That is if you're going to chop it, because if you want to slice it, then you should try to be a bit more delicate. That's a nice way to peel it. It's very fast and easy. Now you want to take out the extreme parts of the garlic and take out also the middle part of the garlic. Of course, if you don't want to take the middle part, that's okay, but it's a bit bitter. Now that I started to record the voiceover, something funny happened here. For some reason, I started to do a tutorial here. That's not what I wanted. To be honest, I just wanted to show me cooking, yeah. So if you are watching this expecting a tutorial to how to do a borscht, go check someone who knows how to do a borscht. I will stop doing a tutorial now. Okay, back to it. Okay, I decided to use a dried beef to put in the soup, the borscht, because I was thinking that maybe a nice and strong flavor in the meat would be the important part, you know, the secret. The strong flavor of a dried meat can make a lot of difference, and the borscht was not cooked for too much time, so the flavors inside of the meat stayed inside of the meat. And now after I have cooked the bits, I need to peel it, and oh boy, that was hard. Yeah, that was hard. Maybe there's an easier way to peel it, but I don't know. Maybe it was because I cut it before. Like I said, I don't know. But well, in the end it worked, so it's okay. So then I decided to cut it like fries or chips instead of cubic pieces, and I think that was nice. It was interesting in the end. I decided to cut big pieces of the carrot because it stayed too much time on the vapor and it cooked too much, so it was kind of too soft. Then was time for fry everything. I start putting oil, olive oil, and then the chopped onions. After getting that golden color in the onions, was time for the garlic. And then was time for the meat. I wanted to just get a bit of color there because it is a red dried meat that doesn't need too much, but I wanted just a bit. And then I decided to use a bit of alcohol. This is cachaça. Cachaça is a Brazilian whiskey, so it's very common here, and I decided to use that. But any kind of alcohol should work. And then was time for water, then the broth, and the bits. And that's it, basically. Okay, I stirred from time to time and waited. While we wait here, I usually don't do videos like this, but I kind of like it. And if you have something, like some recipe to recommend it, and you can post here, maybe I'll try to do it. I don't know. Like I said before, I'm not chef or anything, so yeah. I hope you enjoy it, and let's see this bad boy here. I really like it, the flavors here. The meat was really nice, and it was like I was expecting a lot of flavor in the meat, but not too much in the borscht. Maybe that's not the way to do borscht, but I like it. I like it this way. So I hope you enjoy it, and bye bye.